Welcome to the Darkstream, Voxday, voxday.blogspot.com, and unauthorized TV. So I haven't been doing many streams lately for some obvious reasons, but because of what is happening with regards to the recent purge and new policies of YouTube, it seems like it's probably a good time to do so in order to correct some misapprehensions and straighten out some of the facts, and also address some of the questions that I know that some of you have, which many of which I assume are not stupid. So we're coining a new term here, technic cleansing, because that's what we're seeing. And we're also seeing a lot of people panicking. We're essentially seeing digital refugees being banished from YouTube, from being deplatformed, being demonetized, having their videos deleted, and so forth. I've had 3 videos deleted. Remarkably, 2 of them being remarkably uncontroversial. I wasn't that surprised to see the Voxiversity video deleted. I was very surprised to see the problem with Jordan Peterson deleted. What on earth could that possibly have to do with anything that they tend to consider to be controversial or anything? There have not been any real problems with unauthorized other than that Google Cloud issue 2-3 days ago. Mark Termal asks, why do people just accept this? Because they have no choice. What are they supposed to do? They have no recourse. They have no ability to complain. There's nothing that they can do about it. And so, we recognize that. Owen and I understood that. And that's why we set up unauthorized TV. Now, a number of people are saying, well, but there's still this vulnerability and there's still that vulnerability. Of course. Do you really think that we don't know that, haven't anticipated that, and aren't already actively working on that? I'm not in the habit of sitting around and hoping that things work out. I never have been. If you understood what we're doing, I think it would astonish you with regards to the scope of what we're working on and some of the people with whom we're talking. That's the thing that these one of the things that Owen asked me when we were talking about some of the current projects in development is, he said, do these people even understand what they're doing? Do they even understand how they are creating their own competition? When you look at the way that CNN and ABC and NBC and CBS created the opportunity for Fox News, that's exactly what YouTube and the other converged platforms are doing. They're creating opportunities for us. And we're very aware of that, and we're very aware of the fact that they're going to attempt to intervene. They're going to attempt to shut things down. But the point is, it is much, much harder to shut things down when people are not directly under your control and on your platform. And so, you know, we actually sped up our development process. We were actually planning to launch unauthorized, you know, about now, but we moved it up because YouTube deplatformed or demonetized Owen. And so, you know, we're doing what we have to do, and we're prioritizing things. And, you know, I guarantee you, there's literally nothing that anybody has said publicly or in private to me that we hadn't already anticipated months ago. Remember, I'm a game designer. And when you design games, you literally have to map out every single possibility. You know, people say, well, you know, Vox, how come you haven't been demonetized? There's various theories, but chief among them is probably I'm not at all dependent upon it. I've voluntarily let most of my monetization opportunities here on YouTube go. And so when we look at, you know, you need to always look at things from the other guy's perspective. What's the point of demonetizing somebody and creating a legal liability, a potential legal liability, when they're not really getting much out of it? Fine them billions of dollars. To be more connection between creators. They want us divided and scattered. We need a concerted mood. You're not going to get that. You know, who are we going? We're going to team up with the people who were attacking us relentlessly for the past few months? I don't think so. Why would we? Most creators are not builders. You know, they're users. And users are totally useless in attempting to build something. Not only that, but they're short-sighted. If they weren't short-sighted, they wouldn't be on a platform that deplatforms people. Right? Nobody believes it's going to happen to them. And everybody believes that if something has happened to someone else, then that is, you know, that's their fault. That's their problem. So, anyhow, hang on a second. So, you know, when you look at this stuff, see, and the thing is, people don't even pay attention. People pay absolutely no attention. Can't wait for unauthorized to launch. Unauthorized has been running successfully for months. There's literally thousands of people watching videos there. You know, the apps and so forth are not, you know, they'll be running sooner or later, but that's not our most pressing priority. We'll get to them. They're underway, but we're not only working on regular apps, we're also working on custom apps that are going to give our subscribers features and abilities that go well beyond anything that you can do through YouTube or any, you know, Twitch or any of the other services. But there's a lot of Taylor Weber says, is there a way you could piggyback your site with another app? No, we don't want to. You know, here's the thing that you need to remember is that whenever you work with anybody else, you become vulnerable to them. They become a weak point for you. Peace Crusader said, did Vox get any videos deleted or Yes, 3 of my videos were deleted. Orenthal Smith. See, and here's part of the problem too. I get the whole contested platform, but I don't buy it at this point. Get some more big names on it. How? It's a chicken or the egg problem. You know, all the big names want to be on YouTube and Twitter because that's where the eyeballs are. And so, we've had, at this point in time, I think we've probably been contacted by over 60 people, 60 creators that have asked us if they can be on unauthorized. And we've said no to all of them because they don't understand what unauthorized is. They don't bring anything to the table to unauthorized. They're not going to bring in any subscribers. They're not going to bring in, any new viewers. So why would we want them? What we're adding is new content. In fact, I just finished uploading, and it's still processing, but we'll announce it tomorrow. We have the first documentary available as premium content to unauthorized subscribers that they can watch tomorrow. We're going to be regularly adding documentaries, feature films, television shows, and we're even in the process of producing 2 of our own original documentaries. So, but one step at a time. While we're doing the content stuff, we're also shoring up, the various points of vulnerability. When you're talking to me and you're asking me about this stuff, it's really kind of, it's both irritating and insulting when people say, well, what are you going to do about what are you going to do if Google takes down your blog? What do you think I'm going to do? Do you know one reason why they probably never bothered to take down my blog? Because Google has spiders. They spider the internet. And so one of the things that Google knows is that I have had multiple mirrors of my blog fully updated to the day, running live for, I think, as long as 10 years. Why don't they bother to do it? Because there's no point. All they do is give me the chance to say that they did it, possibly risk me coming after them in a very unfriendly court. And for what? For nothing. The blog won't miss a beat. If it wasn't my philosophy to make them take responsibility for it, I would have quit long ago. It's ridiculous to not have my own branded URL. The only reason I don't is because I've been waiting for them to do that. So, you just have to play the hand that you're dealt and play against the opponent that you have. They get a vote too. They always get a vote too. We've actually got super chats. Goodness. Submitted to Crisis. Would love your thoughts on Tommy Robinson's run and vote results while being severely silenced in media and social media. Any significance going forward? Tommy Robinson, in my opinion, is totally irrelevant. I think Tommy Robinson is probably a form of controlled opposition. I see him as being a British working class Ben Shapiro. You know, he says some of the right stuff, but I very much doubt that he is actually a genuine English nationalist. He seems to be at least as concerned about specific other countries as he is with England. I think that, you know, he's basically like the intellectual dark web, approved opposition. His vote results, he was never going to win anything anyhow. You know, I mean, the Tommy Robinson was totally irrelevant because the only issue that matters in England right now is Brexit. So, you know, I'm assuming that he was pro-Brexit, but I don't actually know that. And the fact that he is about other issues meant that he's not relevant at this point in time in the British electoral history. John Rampton says, thanks for bringing back chat. We have chat like once a week, you know, and we will have much better chat, I would say probably before the end of the summer. You know, people keep saying, get so-and-so on unauthorized, get so-and-so on unauthorized. First of all, telling me to do things is always a very bad way to go about it. Because my first instinct when somebody is telling me to do something is to say, that's never going to happen. Now, I'm not going to do that because I realize that people are just communicating a desire rather than actually trying to tell me what to do. But the point is that people keep saying, you should get this person, you should get this person. Why? Nobody ever seems to make any case for why we should get those people on unauthorized. Or is there any indication that those people want to be on unauthorized? Or what their expectations are? You know, just to be clear, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this chat and make it interactive tonight, is to try to help people understand that unauthorized is not about providing a haven to everybody anywhere who gets deplatformed. We're not a free speech zone. We're not trying to just host everything we can. We are attempting to become something that is more akin to a stream channel. Like the way that you just automatically turn on Fox, or you just automatically turn on CNN, whatever. That's what we would like unauthorized to become. And so that's why we're working on a broad range of content. That's why we're working on things like cooking shows and history courses. We're not just looking to find more people yakking about politics. We already have a couple of those. So we don't need more. Hans Log says, here's $10 to help build. This is part of why I don't, you know, what's your opinion on David Duke? I have very little opinion on David Duke. My opinion on David Duke is he's the guy that the media brings out every 4 years in order to disqualify people. So I don't really have any opinion on him, nor do I have any use for him. Hey Vox, have you seen Jesse Lee Peterson's? The answer to have you seen is almost always no. I don't know how many times I need to tell everybody I don't watch videos. I read books. You know what I read in the last week? I read Killing Commendatore by Haruki Murakami for the second time. I read This Side of Paradise by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I finished reading A Man in Full, which I had started reading the previous week. And I read I Am Charlotte Simmons, and I read more of Charles Oman's History of England. The only videos that I've seen this week, I saw part of 2 Owen Benjamin videos. So, as a general rule, don't ask me if I've seen something, because the answer is almost always no. Holy cats. That just picked up the entire Cambridge Medieval History set for $7 on AbeBooks. I hope you're talking about one of the newer ones, because if you picked up the 1923 edition or whatever it was, the first edition by Bury, I'm going to be incredibly envious, even though I have 2 sets already. Let's see. Here's the same thing. Oh, he retracted it. Somebody was asking me about, have you seen? No, I haven't. What were the other 2 videos removed besides? No, there were 3 total. The third one was called The Culling of the Cucks. Christopher Davis said, Vox, thanks for what you do. DA says, thanks for all your good work on Unauthorized. No, Sink the Ships got taken down months ago. Diane says, ignore the midwits who don't learn even me. Let's see. Kim E says, I cheerfully joined Unauthorized yesterday. But have not been able to log in. There's no, let's see. Well, I would assume, just send me an email and I'll look into it. But almost certainly you just didn't write down your password or something. So, but we'll check. We'll check. Would you ever host a channel for other authors? Well, look, what we're probably, given that there's obviously an appetite for this stuff, an appetite for providing a home to all these other folks, we'll look into it. But we need to figure out who wants to work with us, on what basis they want to work with us. You need to understand, these folks are used to making money off of YouTube. Most of them. And so they're not just going to come on to our system. Why would we want, we have thousands of subscribers. Why would we want to pay them to come on if they're not bringing anything new to the table? If they're just taking away from the existing creators? So these things have to make sense. Now, it may be that we can come up with a system once we get further along. For example, I can imagine a way that would be very interesting is if we're able to provide them with a system that allows them to make a reasonable money off of super chats and stuff. Because that doesn't affect the subscribers at all. It doesn't affect the other creators at all. It's just totally on them. But there's a lot of details that go into these things. So it's not just a simple matter of, come on, everybody. It doesn't work that way. Unauthorized TV is a solution for being able to support what we want to see without boundaries. That's right. If PewDiePie came to us and said, Can we be unauthorized? I would say yes, absolutely. But, for somebody like E-Rock, that wouldn't make any sense. He's never going to get deplatformed. All he does is play music. He's got over 1 million subscribers. That's way more, that's way more than unauthorized can provide him for right now. So, again, it has to make sense for everybody. You can't force these things. And remember, we're like in our 4th month of existence. And so, like, for example, Kyle Jackson says Cerno would make sense. No. Mike doesn't make any sense. Mike does his own thing. I respect that. I have no problem whatsoever with how Mike operates. But what you have to understand about Mike is that Mike does his own thing on his own time, in his own way. He does not like the restrictions that working with other people intrinsically imposes on you. And that's always one of the problems. Who do you think is more well-read, Ron Unz or you? I have no idea. None whatsoever. Does unauthorized have its own servers? Yes. What about Gavin? I don't see any point in working with Gavin. I mean, I have nothing against him. But again, he's somebody who does his own thing. And, that's always going to be one of the problems with the right, is because people tend to be more independent. They're not all being propped up by external money. Simple Living says, thanks for the stream. Thank you for the support. You're welcome. I've never read Unicorn Western, no. Do you think Mike Cernovich is a Sigma? I think he's got some Sigma characteristics, yeah. Spider Bip says, Gavin is trying to make his own channel. Yeah, I mean, that's the sort of thing that I would expect him to do. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why, there's no point in even talking to people like that, because they want to have their own thing. They want to do their own thing. And that's fine. I have no problem with that, Like Stefan Molyneux, it would make 0 sense for him to come on with us. He's bigger than we are. So, what would be the point? Let's see. Walrus says, Vox, I joined unauthorized yesterday. Thank you. A lot of people did yesterday. In fact, in the last 2 days, as many people joined unauthorized as joined in May, which astonishes me. And I'm very appreciative of that. And the thing is, because these are monthly memberships, we have to earn your renewal every single month. And we know that. And so that's why you can bet that we're going to continually work at both improving it and bulletproofing it. And I can tell you right now, there's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be people trying to take it down. There's going to be people trying to attack at this point, at that point. We've already seen it. But we're used to it. We're very accustomed to it. And just all I can ask you is keep the faith, stick with us, and you will see how we surmount these things, how we get past these obstacles, whether we have to go around them or blow through them every single time. We've been doing it with Castalia House for 5 years now. That's, somebody said something once about how, they compare my supporters to a cult. But there's nothing cultish about it. It's people who have confidence in the team because they have seen the team deal effectively with one problem after another. You know, you get kicked out of the organized science fiction world, start a new science fiction publishing house. You get, deplatformed in one place, you build your own platform. They demonetize you, create your own cyber currency. Or, you do whatever you have to do one step at a time. But always remember, these things take time. They will always take time. Christopher McCullough said, would SJWs be so eager to deplatform if they couldn't do it anonymously? Some of them would. They're proud of what they do. They think that they're fighting evil. So, what documentaries are you working on for unauthorized? Well, all I'm going to say is one of them has to do with comics, and one of them has to do with Umberto Eco. Has society reached the point that new jobs will never replace old jobs, such as truck driving, unlike the days of the Luddites? No, I don't think so. In fact, I think that we're going to see technology start reversing in a lot of areas within the next 20 to 30 years. Well, that's certainly working on. But what I can tell you is if you switch to the premium membership, the Big Bear will actually get more out of that than he does from the Feed the Bear subscribers. So don't hesitate. If you want to go to premium but you're concerned about the Big Bear, don't hesitate. The Big Bear does better with a premium membership than he does on a Feed the Bear. So, the ironic thing is he didn't even know that we were going to do that. In fact, I didn't know we were going to do that. I literally added it 5 minutes before we went live, just thinking, the guy's been demonetized. We should have a way where his supporters can do it in a way that lets him know that they back him. And, he's already got nearly as many Feed the Bear subscribers as he had YouTube membership subscribers before they demonetized him. So, the support the Bears have shown for the Big Bear is mind-boggling. It's really great. And, it's kind of funny because the Bears versus the Dread Elk, it's kind of like, the U.S. Marines and the Special Forces, it's quite an interesting and effective partnership. So, Freddie says, us Bears know how to circle a darn wagon. You certainly do. You certainly do. I have no thoughts on Canada's laws. Is there another book planned after A Sea of Skulls? Yes. Does it have a working title? Yes. Will I tell you what it is? No. I will tell you what it is once I get A Sea of Skulls extended edition done. Has Piero San Giorgio made any new content soon? I just talked to him yesterday. He will have some new content soon. He is currently putting the final touches on a new book. So that's the main focus at the moment. Is there a Throne of Bones graphic novel series you've considered? Yeah, we've thought about it. The problem is it's so big that it would be extremely expensive. It doesn't seem very likely at the moment. DA says you and Big Bear teaming up has been fantastic. Yeah, it's kind of funny. You know, we actually just half the time now we just we talk regularly, and half the time we're just chatting, really. You know, he's definitely a fun person to be friends with. Hey Vox, going to be living off grid for a few months. Any good book recommendations? I plan on reading A Throne of Bones. Yeah, I would recommend The Missionaries, especially if you're going to be living off grid. You can appreciate that. I would also recommend, if you haven't read any Echo yet, I'd recommend A Name of the Rose and Foucault's Pendulum. Is your email down? No, my email's not down. When did you move to Italy? Decades ago. Califragilistic Bear said, I would like to join unauthorized with the regular membership. Excellent. How is that different from the Feed the Bear package? The difference is that it costs $10 a month instead of $5 a month. And the money from that gets divided between the channel and various creators. So Big Bear should, I think for Big Bear it's really irrelevant with regards to which you choose in that case. He definitely does better with the premium than the Feed the Bear, but the basic one is pretty similar. Would it be possible for subtitles to be added to unauthorized videos? It's possible. The technology's there, but it's not realistic in terms of the time it would take. Have you read Jared Diamond's Guns, Germs, and Steel? Yes. I do not agree with it at all. Can you do a book or video series with Piero San Giorgio on how to prepare for the upcoming U.S. collapse and civil war? That's kind of what his new book's about. So, let's see. Some asshole donates $1. Thank you. No, I don't have any plans to chat with Michael Malice. Although, I'd certainly be happy to chat with him about the old Orange and the Blue sometimes. We're fellow Bucknell alumni. Let's see. Which are the bears? The bears are like the Marines. There's a lot more of them. There's literally 10 times more bears than there are dread elk. You know, Owen's much more likable than I am. Yeah, I heard about there's this new Name of the Rose series that came out. I'll have to check it out. Hopefully, it was better than particularly. Honestly, I just don't know enough about him to. But like I said, we're focused on content. We're focused on building the platform. We're not interested in playing life preserver for people that get deplatformed, especially now that YouTube is deplatforming tons and tons and tons of people. Now, again, it might make sense for us to set something up for those people, but we're not in a position to do that yet. We need to have a number of specific features in order for it to make sense for those people to do it. If they just want to have a place where they can throw videos up, there's already BitChute. That's what BitChute's for. Don't confuse unauthorized with BitChute. They're very different concepts with very different focuses. They serve different roles and they have different niches. White Arrow says people want to fill unauthorized TV with fodder programming. It's not so much that. We already have, I mean, if you think about it, with the amount of stuff that we have up there and the new stuff that's going up every single day, you know, I mean, today, you know, we just added a new Chuck Dixon video, my video from last night, Owen's video from last night. You know, there's all kinds of stuff. You probably couldn't, I think it'd be difficult to watch all of it in a day, much less to do it regularly. So it's not about improving the quantity, it's about improving the quality. So, Sticks and Stones Bear says, I can transcribe videos for unauthorized if people need that. Waiting for a good cat video channel. That's funny. Half an hour a day, barking like crazy anytime anybody approach the house. I mean, it's really kind of obnoxious. Will there be a Bravo or Delta video coming out soon? Yes, there will. Christopher Davis said, the Dark Lord works on the Gideon principle, if I'm not mistaken. That's absolutely true. You know, I've always said I would much rather have, you know, I'd much rather have 10 people that you can count on to stand beside you than 1,000 people that are inclined to run away. So, yeah. My you know, my Gmail definitely works. I mean, somebody literally just emailed it. So it's definitely working. Will Scoville says, I really enjoy watching David the Good videos for his expertise and his humor. Yeah, David, I mean, I have no interest in that sort of thing myself, but I can understand how gardening is going to be increasingly important for people. And, you know, I absolutely support what he's doing. And he's a real expert. You know, I guess my audio is going through. That's funny. What do you think the consequences of requiring the missionaries to be read in the public school would be? I think you would see riots all across the country. A micro dirty jobs channel for encouraging youth to get into the trades would be super awesome. Yeah, it would. That would be a good idea. Is Christianity, Catholicism still a part of the culture there? Yes, without question. So, all right, well, thanks for tuning in tonight. Now, keep in mind, this YouTube purge is not over. This is what, the 5th or 6th round? There will be more. And they're going to deplatform more and more non-controversial, moderate people, because that's what SJWs do. You know, they don't stop. They keep going until they start eating themselves. And so that's what you have to expect to happen. And, you know, that's why, you know, we planned and assumed that YouTube would deplatform, demonetize us and many, many others. And so don't count on any channel remaining up. Not this one and not anything else. So on the investment stuff that some of you know about, you'll probably hear something in 2 to 3 weeks. So stay cool, stay calm, And if you haven't become unauthorized yet, check us out in another couple weeks and see if if you feel incentivized to then. So anyhow, thanks very much for tuning in. This is the Darkstream. I'm Vox Day.